Hey guys, Paul here, and baby, and this is another video update to Void Destroyer 2. So I hope this is the last big update to Void Destroyer 2 before release. Hoping to get things finalized for the 1.0 release um, pretty soon. Pretty soon. So I hope this is one of the last updates that requires an update. Alrighty, so once again, baby is safely asleep, and I can safely get to work. So this update, there's so many things to talk about, so I'm just gonna try to just rush through it, so you guys don't have to sit through 20, 30 minutes of this like you usually do. So let's see how it goes this time. So the first half of this update, um, I was focused on the end game, the late game, just your sort of empire management, your fleet management, and things like that. And this sort of continued from where I was going in the update, in the last update video. So first thing I wanted to showcase is something that, man, you guys have been asking for quite a lot, is better better interface for customizing ships. So before, the way you would customize ships is you would switch to it, go to the current ship screen, customize it, and then switch back, send it back to hangar. It was just a pretty messy way. But now you can just customize them right for them from the hangar, from the fleet screen, from the base defense screen interface here. So I'm gonna choose one of my fighters. I'm gonna say customize. So right away, this saves you a bunch of clicks and unnecessary shenanigans, right? And I'm gonna say, you know what? Instead of this refire rate booster, I'm gonna remove that. I want to add ammo capacity. Um, let's see what else. And I want to add a shield generator. There's no room, so I'm gonna add another upgrade slot. And now I'm gonna add a armor plating, more armor plating to this ship. Alright, so I just customized one ship. There it is. However, I have like so many other fighters here, right? So before you would have to like just keep doing this, keep doing this. Um, I mean, there was this duplicate button here, but what if you already have the ships? You know, then you would just be adding to the mess in a way. So now what you can do here is you can use these 5x, 10x, 20x buttons and just click standardize. So all the 20 other ships just down the line are just going to be given the same upgrades as this guy. So this guy has the primary upgrade slot and armor plating. If we look, these other guys don't have it. So I'm going to choose the ship I just customized. I'm going to say standardized. And now these other guys also have the same upgrade. So this is going to save you quite a lot of clicks, you know, in the end game where, you know, actually I honestly didn't bother with customizing ships for my own use. And then I finally realized how much that sucks, you know, that it was such a hassle to do that I didn't bother to do it. So I'm like, yeah, I gotta change it before release. So I hope you guys really enjoy this and can just customize your ships. You know, even the tiny fighters that are gonna die, you know, pretty fast, but you can do that again. So let's go ahead. Let's go into our remote interface. Well, actually, first, let's see. Let's move some of these ships to base defense. Send to base. 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 In preparation of, let's see. Yeah. I'm going to go into the remote interface room, which lets you enter overworld mode without actually leaving the base. And now I'm going to click on the fleet interface here, and here I can choose the Triton. And now Actually, okay. So let me just toss these into hangar. Just toss all these to hangar. When I go to the hangar, I can choose the Triton, and I can say create overworld fleet from the hangar ships. And with just that one click, there's now this Triton that I can tell to blockade a base, attack another base, or hold territory, or whatever. So this is going to make sort of fleet management so much easier. Before, what you would do is you would send all those fleet ships into overworld mode, but one at a time, and then you would combine it. You would combine them in overworld mode. So it sort of looked like this, where you would have these huge, massive ships. And then you just had to like basically designate one as a fleet leader, select them all. And as you can see, this is just messy here. Find the Triton or the biggest ship and do it that way. So it wasn't, terrible, but it's just, this is just much easier to just create fleets like that. And then, once you have your fleet ship, it would just kind of sit there. I mean, other ships might attack it. If they see it, you could order it to attack other ships. But what if you wanted to patrol your territory? Well, now you have these commands here. You can tell it to guard position. And as soon as I told it to guard position, it found these hostiles and it went after them. I'm going to tell it to do something else because it's never going to catch up these corvettes. So now in overworld mode, you have these really, really nice fleet commands here. You can also patrol area. So your ship is just going to travel in this area scanning for hostiles. If it finds some, then it's just going to engage them like right there. Found some hostiles. Looks like they were actually destroyed, so it just got different orders. Or you can tell it to patrol owned assets. So it's going to go to your bases and find hostile ships. So as you can see, the cruiser might not be the best ship to patrol. Maybe lighter ships might be better. But if there's a huge enemy fleet incoming, the cruiser will definitely do the job really well. So now it's patrolling your area. You can also see that now we have this little command patrolling territory to telling you what the ship is actually doing. So if we click on a different ship, here's a repair ship. It's looking for ships to repair in your territory. Let's find some other ships. These ships are just holding position. Here's a transport ship. It's mining support, so it's going to pick up cargo pods from ships. Here's some other ships. That ship is mining. This ship is patrolling an asteroid field. So you can see what's going on much better. Speaking of that, if you look, you can see quite a lot of activity on this map in this area. And then in this other area, not a lot, right? Here we don't see any ships. I mean, we see a distress call right there. And you can actually tell it's a ship here because it is sending a distress call. So you actually see it at far longer range. But here we don't see anything here, and this is kind of how it looked like before this change. So now what I did was, if you own a base, if you own a platform, that base or platform is going to do its own sensor sweep and tell you what's going on in your territory. So you see a lot more activity here. And we can see that just our empire, what's going on with our empire, with hostile ships, neutral ships, and the like. Like here we see one of our repair ships was targeted here by a pirate. And if I wanted to, I could respond to it, or if I had patrolling ships, they would help out. So I think that's a pretty significant thing. I mean, it didn't take long to do. I mean, it took, I don't know, like an afternoon. It was pretty fast, but man, did it change my ability in late game to just manage my empire here. And this also makes comms platforms a lot more useful. So here's a comms platform that I built. Nice little comms platform. And this comms platform is actually scanning this whole area and just telling me what's going on. So if I were to build one around here or further deeper, I could get a glimpse at what's going on here without owning a base. So I think that's a pretty cool thing. Speaking of sensor stuff, larger ships now have a bigger sensor range and detection range which are being detected. Smaller ships have less of that, so it's just sort of made it a little more, I guess, logical. That smaller ships have less ability to detect other ships and less ability to be detected, um, which kind of gives you the ability to sort of evade detection or to find enemies. There's also new upgrades now that boost your ability to detect, and also mask your ability to be detected. So in the late game, you can install these on transport ships, on mining ships, and there will be a lesser chance of them being attacked. And that's just because in the late game, it's a real hassle if your transport ships and your mining ships keep getting destroyed. You're not really paying too much attention to them because everything is just so automated in the late game, and you have so many ships that you really want to install. Um, you really want to install these upgrades. So if we look, did I install a few? Let's see if I have these upgrades installed. So here's the sensor range and here's the detected range. So this ship can be detected at a range of 125. So let me see. I don't remember if that includes the upgrades or not. Um, yeah, but I should look at that. I should sort of look at that and make sure that it's just across the board giving you the info that you need. Um, so yeah, so you can install this sensor shielding upgrade, and your transport ships are going to be much less attacked. Just because if they're destroyed, then you gotta create them again and give them S cores and all that stuff. Here, for a fairly costly upgrade, that's really not cost efficient early in the game, but in the late game, just credits don't really matter. The other thing I wanted to do is to give you the ability to toggle primary and secondary burns on all ships when they're selected. So I'm just going to toggle these off here. I selected all these ships. I'm just going to say, hey guys, just speed up. So it just tells you multiple ships selected. This is just sort of this user interface thing that you would expect to work. So I just added that. And then another big thing is in the trade ships interface, you can now have platform traders. So if you select this checkbox here, platform transport, this ship is going to supply energy to campus, one of my bases, and it's just going to, let's see, where are you? There it is. So it's got energy pods that it got from a platform, and it's gonna deliver this to campus. And I have some mining platforms here um, that looks like not that ship, but there's probably some ships that are, let's see. Looks like I lost those ships, so I might have to set that up again, or maybe yeah, this base has maxed ore anyway, so I probably just set that to be working on something else like energy. We're still getting ore here from here, so that's fine. So yeah, so you can now have this really nice empire management. You can set up platforms and have ships ferry ore, energy, food, weapons, whatever, to bases, and then bases can use that up. So um, I think that's just like a really nice little feature that you guys have been asking for, that I just couldn't conceive the interface for. So there's a bunch of other little things, but I think that's the majority of this of the larger elements. So let's load up a saved game file. let's talk about the other stuff that I was working on. So really, this update has two sort of separate things. So the other component is more on the early stages of the game. I decided I wanted to pass through all the auto-generated missions before release and see if they needed balancing, tweaks, if I could improve them in any way. Um, and I realized that we really needed more auto-generated missions. So I added some. I added like I think six. I forget the exact number, but I added a bunch. I think more than six. Although some are pretty basic, some are pretty simple. Some are a little bit more interesting. Like here, for example, you have covert courier um, added to the military faction. Military faction is kind of hard to add missions to, but this is one of the ones I added to the military faction. I think it's a pretty cool mission, especially for the middle of the game. I think that's a pretty cool mission. So maybe let's look at a civilian base. Let's see if I have a. Let's see. Eh, that's all right. So let's just say that I reworked quite a lot of these auto-generated missions. I try to make quite a lot of more of them, either fleet missions or single ship missions, just to make them make a lot more sense. Fleet missions are missions where you get compensated for losing ships. So a lot of the later missions will give you credits if you lose a ship. Just so you're not losing money doing missions, which doesn't make any sense. Things like that. So really a lot of work went into this, but it's just so I'm not going to talk about every single little mission that I've done, changed and things like that. But I also looked at how they were the compensation, and just taking a glance at all the missions at once for different factions just helped me sort of help me do that. I added some more like tooltips. I tweaked some of these descriptions, so a bunch of stuff like that. All right, guys. So yeah, that's about it for this video. Hopefully that wasn't 20 minutes. Um, and I hope that this is going to be like the last major updates to Void Destroyer 2 before release. I don't know exactly what's going to happen after release. Hopefully there'll be quite a lot of interest and quite a lot of you know shenanigans post release and resources to do it. But we'll see. We'll see. But I'm definitely trying to make the game the best game I can before release, and then see what happens after that point. So what's next is to probably finalize the story. Just add that final mission to the story. Um, Look at a bunch of polish prior to active abilities. Just start working more on like little elements polish, and then probably start working on the marketing side of it. Create a new trailer, create like new explainer videos, create all the sort of splash screens and games sort of stuff for Steam, like the images on the store page, update the store page, things like that. Maybe try to get some marketing going. We'll see. We'll see. That's a bit of a challenge. So quite a lot of work, but hopefully less like huge updates like these, because at some point after years and years, right? You got to release a game, and you got to assess it from there, and see what the future holds at that point. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for supporting the project. I keep saying this, and it's every day it's more and more true. It wouldn't be possible without your support. Your bug reports, your criticism, your feedback, you guys letting other people know, purchasing the game, and just funding the further development of it and things like that. It's just really amazing. Without you guys would not be possible. So again, and as always, thank you so much. Um, Hopefully this will be one of the last updates, but I'll probably do another update, like maybe a video update right before release. Um, Then, of course, there'll be a flurry of activity at release, little smaller updates, smaller talks to hopefully many, many new players. But we'll take that as it goes. So, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.